Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 820. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, guys?
What's up, Scott?
Howdy-o!
All right, so we got some animated stuff. What do you got, Chris?
We talked about this yesterday. Just hold on one second.
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday we talked about stuff coming from New York Comic Con.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So we have this stuff about the animated Spider-Man show that's going to be on Disney XD. We talked about this yesterday. It's going to be on Disney XD in 2017. And basically, I'm just going to paraphrase what they have here because it's a long article. But, they just talk about how Spider-Man is one of the biggest action heroes in the world. And they're excited to bring him back to the Disney XD audience in a new way. And they said that this series is going to go back to the basics with him. So it sounds interesting.
I mean, the problem was that they did the other one, which was they kept doing these cutesy
and that got
animated crap.
Yeah, that got irritating real quick. I tried watching a couple episodes. That whole thing about how big head and all this. Come on, people.
They did that with Teen Titans and crap. It's annoying.
Yeah.
So let's get serious with Spider-Man. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think that's what this is going to be. I don't think it's going to be serious.
Oh, no?
I think it's going to be in the same vein as what we're seeing now, honestly.
Oh.
Which, Ultimate Spider-Man is actually a really good show. I don't know if you guys have watched more of it.
Any of them or not.
What you're describing is like 1% of the show. I mean, some of the storylines, like there was a whole storyline where they were with S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm pretty sure this was Ultimate Spider-Man, and the Venom symbiote infected like 90% of the helicarrier, of the people on the helicarrier, and like Nick Fury got a symbiote, and like I'm telling you, you got to check out some of the other stuff with the show. It's actually a really good show.
Yeah, Joe likes it a lot, so
it's a really good show. I'm telling you, that and the Avengers show that they have on now
is actually really good. I thought that was a good one.
But the thing is that the Sinister Six ain't going to be over. It's going to end also in 2017 because in January they're supposed to have a big finale to that show or something like that.
I'm assuming so, yeah, because
or finale season.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're not going to want to have two Spider-Man shows on at the same time.
Yeah, so they're going to have another season, I guess, or whatever it is in January, and then they'll just phase into the new show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now besides Spider-Man, isn't there a Guardians of the Galaxy show out? Or not?
It's on. Yeah, it's on there. That one I'm not too crazy about. I feel like they just put that on there just because Guardians of the Galaxy did really well.
Okay.
I don't watch that one.
That's on Disney?
Yeah.
Of course I want Disney, yeah. Okay. So now, I guess there's Spider-Man, there's Guardians of the Galaxy. What's going on with the Ant-Man now? Is there...
Right. So Disney XD in 2017 are going to be having Ant-Man shorts, I guess. It's not going to be like a regular series.
Mini-series?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Sort of like, I guess, what that Sinister Six Spider-Man thing's going to be in January,
Yeah.
I guess. All right, so mini-series is better than no series at all. And I think this has something to do with Avengers Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Which I don't have the article presently. But, or do I? Oh, well, yeah, I gave you the article. It was Peggy Carter, Haley Atwell is going to do the voice of Peggy Carter in Avengers Secret Wars. Which, okay. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad that she's continuing.
Well, to add on to the Ant-Man thing, there was an episode. I don't know if it was the most recent episode, but there was an episode of Ultimate Spider-Man where he's already in the show. He's also in the Avengers show, Ant-Man, and Doctor Strange is also in both shows, I believe, as well. I know he's in Ultimate Spider-Man. I've seen a few episodes with him in Ultimate Spider-Man, Doctor Strange.
Right.
They do a really good job. They try to keep everyone looking like they do in the movie, even though it's not in the same universe as the movie.
Right. Okay.
Nice.
Or movies, I should say.
Okay. What else do we have?
The last thing we have here is the Wasp She's confirmed to be in Avengers 4 and Ant-Man 2. And they're also saying that Ant-Man 2 is going to cover the Wasp's origin.
Okay.
So, going off of what they had at the end of Ant-Man.
So, I mean, I'm glad that she's going to be in the Avengers, right? I mean, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as she's a good character, I mean.
Yeah, as long
I
as
thought she was a little boring in Ant-Man.
Okay.
Here she is. Eye candy.
What that article was that I couldn't find the other day. In case you didn't know, and Marvel gets to be very complicated lately, but stupid reason, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' child of the future is Captain America trapped in the past. So we got, and then the only thing I'm having a hard time with the Marvel Universe of late, because everybody's from the future or the past, living in the present, and I think it's a big distraction taken away from the creativity of what they could do with the characters they have.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know that the baby is in a diaper pooping, but do you really need to show the futuristic version in the comic book thing now? And that she's Captain America? I mean, I honestly when I said in past casts, I said Marvel used to be unique, where one Captain America, one Iron Man, one Spider-Man, one Thor. When you start doing it, where there are multiple Hulks, multiple Sorcerer Supremes, that's the thing, multiple Captain Americas, multiple Iron Men, it gets boring, and it gets stupid, and nobody gives a crap about it. The whole thing is that not everyone can be an Iron Man or a Hulk, that some people just wouldn't make the cut, regardless of the powers, because they wouldn't know what to do with it. So that's the whole point, that you have to be pretty special. Like, Steve Rogers can only be Captain America. I mean, the thing was that they did that for many decades, that people have tried and failed and became Captain America again, right?
They posed as him while he was encased in ice.
If he got his youth back, right, you can't have the Falcon be Captain America at the same time as Steve Rogers be Captain America, at the same time as Bucky be Captain America, at the same time as a futuristic Captain America be Captain. You have 4 freaking Captain Americas in the Marvel Universe, and 2 Thors.
Didn't they have
and how many Hulks?
Galaxy, a futuristic version where somebody was supposed to have been Cap?
There was another video game version of Captain America where she's like female Captain America, but she looks like Thor, but she has this weird Final Fantasy type hammer thing, weird Final Fantasy type Captain America shield, weird red thing. I don't know, but the thing is that how about just one? One Hulk, one Iron Man, one Captain America.
Because they don't have the right, they're screwing everything up.
But that's the whole thing. When you get the temporary, buzz, I gotta see this. When you keep going into the comic shop and you see multiple, like a Spider-Verse storyline is great, but if every issue you find out in the Marvel Universe there's many Spider-Man, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Okay? So it's going to crash and burn the market.
In the 90s where they all printed, that was the whole point of having unique comic books. And that's why Marvel went under. I don't say it went under, but that's why Marvel had to sell off half their stock, because they were printing all these multi
covers,
number one
hologram covers, 5 different covers to one, triple the amount of money, $4 for a comic with a hologram with a. I mean, you didn't even get gum, but I mean, come on now, that crashed and burned the market. This will crash and burn the market because. And don't tell me you're catering to the person that created the Muslim Miss Marvel, and you're listening to what she's saying. Because here's the thing. They are listening to her, because you know what? Not for nothing, and I'm not against her, but this is not the way you do comics, okay? You can't have that when someone cries for help and asks for Spider-Man, nobody in that universe says which one. And how the hell do you distinguish that Miles Morales or regular Spider-Man? And what if Miles Morales as Spider-Man does something wrong legally to get Spider-Man in trouble? Do they go after that Spider-Man? Do they go after the regular Spider-Man? It's a mess. So fix it. You can't have this. It doesn't work. Please. And DC, where I started reading Rebirth, please don't make that same mistake. And they started to, I think, with the 2 Supermen and Superman is.
It's unclear whether one of them has powers or one of them does, but
Superman is going out with Wonder Woman, and then he dies, and then she's full on gay. And I just recently, if you go back to the original creator of Wonder Woman, she's not gay. So don't make her that way.
Yeah.
But it's just whatever, okay? Whatever way they want to explain it, okay. It's not going to last. And it's just, they're trying to get what's the word, Chris? They introduced me to that clickbait or whatever. They want people to see and click and oh my God and get this comic. You don't need to do that because it turns people off. I get the previews thing sometimes, and there's a book called Sorcerer's Supreme, right? And I'm like, who gives a crap? You can only have one. I don't care. Oh, so that means if Doctor Strange dies, you got 17 other ones.
Now, if he's going to pass somebody, pass his lineage on, fine, pass it on. But I agree, don't do these here's this Sorcerer Supreme, here's this Sorcerer Supreme. No, have one, and if you want to have it set up to where Strange has grown tired of that, or his powers are starting to wane, and he's afraid that he's going to lose them all, and he passes them on temporarily. Do that. But yeah.
So the next thing would be multi-Ghost Riders, because the Ghost Rider's hot in the market now. So why not this spring coming up? Let's have all these different types of Ghost Riders from all the ages, because Marvel's done it with the Hulks, and they've done it with Captain America, and they've done it with Spider-Verse. So stop it. That's all I'm saying. It's too much. You're trying so hard to stop people from moving away from comics to try to catch your eye that you're doing stupid mistakes that are getting people sick. I see that stuff and I want to stay away from comics, and that's a bad thing. So that's my last rant for the Everything Show. Anything you want to add, Chris?
No, not really.
What do you think about all that stuff with the multi-Captain Americas and Spider-Man? Do you think that's terrible, or what do you think?
I think it works for certain characters, but there are certain characters that should only be one of a kind. I think personally, Thor, there should only be one Thor.
Right.
I think there should only be one Captain America, one Hulk. But Iron Man, I can understand there being multiple, but they all shouldn't be Iron Man. They should be different things, like War Machine or Ironheart or something. Even the Hulk, right? If you want to do different versions of the Hulk, that's okay with me, but make them unique in their own way. This is why I'm not this is why I don't dislike the Red Hulk. I actually do like the Red Hulk because to me it's something different and it's a different version. What I don't like, what gets me why is when you have 4 and 5 people running around as Captain America, and it's there's one Captain America. You should be something different. You should call yourself something different. You know what I'm saying?
American Pride, American.
It's just
whatever.
In Ben 10, which is one of my favorite superhero shows, right? And the lore behind it. There's only one person that has an Omnitrix that we know of, and that's Ben, right? There's another character in the show who's my favorite character, who's his quote unquote evil twin, even though he's not. But his powers are different. So he differentiates himself. I like that. If he was running around saying, oh, I'm Ben 10 as well, I'd be like, no, you're not. You're a villain, first of all. And second of all, why do you have to be exactly the same? So, I don't really understand this idea of having all these characters in the same universe. If you want to tell a different universe's story, do that. That works fine. But when you have 4 and 5 Captain Americas running around, it's why?
Because because of the politically correct society that
of
anybody
course.
could be the Hulk, black, white, Korean, whatever. So why don't we have 5 of everything?
Right.
And that's wrong.
Until people decide to start making new characters, this is just what we're going to have. We're going to have 8 and 9 versions of a character to please everybody, and we're going to sit here and go, why?
Right.
Why
Which is
why
like,
is this happening like this, you know?
It's just like if you were to tell me what happened to Captain America, I actually ask you, which one?
One, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, they're 5. You know, it's like this happened to Spider-Man, Joe. Which one? Real Peter Parker, and it's sad that we have to have that discussion where we don't know which one you're talking about or I'm talking about because there are many, and that is a problem.
It's not like Doctor Who where people says, "Oh, there's going to be a Doctor Who movie." Okay, who are they going to use? They're going to use this one. Okay,
You regenerate, so it's like what doesn't matter, but we don't have like 5 doctors running around at the same time in the same show.
Now, if they says, well, they're going to do a Peter Cushing version, I said, okay, then we know which one you're going to use. But I agree. There's only one Cap. There's only one Hulk. There's only one Thor. And like Chris said, I could understand them having an Iron Man type of a group, but differentiate them with this guy's named Iron blah, blah, blah. This one's known as blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Oh,
it's just
that's why I'm not upset with the new Iron Man. What's her name? Riri Williams.
Oh, she's gonna be Ironheart.
Yeah,
I like that.
When they were coming out and saying, "Oh, the new Iron Man is a woman," I was like, "Well, first of all, that doesn't make any sense, and
Correct.
second of all, why would she call herself Iron Man?" And
Correct.
I was waiting for the argument, like, "Well, because women are equal." Like, then why would she call herself a man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Thankfully, like you just said, she came out and my name is Ironheart. Then I was like, okay, good, fine.
Me too. I was accepting of that 100%. But then the She-Hulk thing, I'm not. Because it's like...
That doesn't make any sense to me.
She's been She-Hulk forever.
yeah.
And now to call her Hulk, it's like, no. And again, it's going to be the conversation of, oh, Chris, you know what the Hulk did in the comic? You're going to be like, which one?
See, this is to the point. If you tell me, hey, Chris, the Red Hulk did something, I'm like, okay. But now, when you come to me and you say, oh, the Hulk did, I'm going to have to say what you just said. I'm going to have to say, wait, are we talking about She-Hulk or Bruce Banner or the Incredibly, or the Awesome Hulk or who?
Right, because basically, the Hulk that died, which is the original, is coming back to life. So there's going to be 3 green Hulks. 1 female, which is the She-Hulk, but God forbid you call her She-Hulk, because that doesn't mean that, that she name signifies that it's not equal, so we got to call her a Hulk. That's terrible. Okay?
I mean, the idea behind that name was that she's a female Hulk. It wasn't like, oh, she's a second-class Hulk or anything like that. No. That's just like saying, oh, you call him Red Hulk? He must not be as good as the Hulk. No, he's a Red Hulk. What more do you want?
And there was a she thing back in the day, too. That she originally had the powers of the thing, and then afterwards she didn't, but she had something that was equivalent of, like, thing, whatever. So
like I said, are they going to do that with the red She-Hulk as well? Or are they just going to do that with the...
No, that's Betty Banner. Well, Betty Banner, right? Betty Ross, whatever, and she's still around? Yeah. No, I guess she's still going to be called She-Hulk. Or Red She-Hulk. I don't know. I mean... It's a pain, and you know what? I gotta say something that I have to. I know it's carried on longer than I expected, but it is really insulting and downright disrespectful that you got to put out a book called, The Unworthy Thor, right? Which is the original Thor. Which his name is Thor.
Yeah.
Okay. So he can't change his name, but you have to shit on that character and make him look like he's scum, right? So now he's going to go into the Ultimate Universe to get the Ultimate Universe hammer, which is the same hammer as him, but it looks different a little bit. Majorna, or whatever. How do you say it, Chris? Majorna, Manura, whatever.
Mjolnir. That's how I say it, Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. So he's going into an alternate reality just to get that hammer to be Thor. And it's like they'll both be Thor.
I mean, an axe like hammer.
It'll be like, hi, Thor. Hi, Thor. How stupid is that? In life, okay, the way I can explain this is the Agent Smith of the Matrix movies. Where in the Matrix Revolutions, everybody is Agent Smith.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Marvel's doing. And they're trying to make it like everybody could be an Iron Man. It can't be that way. Because some people just suck. Some people are evil. Some people are this. Some people would screw up and kill everybody by accident. You can't do it like that. You can't put these things in people's heads. Like you can't do it. It's not right. It's totally wrong. So I want all those people that are doing that with Marvel to be fired. I'm sorry, because to me, they're missing the point.
They are.
You know, the person that's allowing all this to happen, that's head of Marvel, should be reassigned. Honestly.
Definitely.
Because they're totally, it's like I'm getting the Spider-Man books now. It's like, you know, and the Clone Conspiracy and everything, but I just can't stand it that there's multiple Spider-Man running around. I don't like it. I don't like any of this stuff. So I'm having a problem with it where eventually I may not collect it all because I'm tired of it. You know, and I get some stuff too. Also, but like, I think Marvel's got to make a major change because this won't work in the movies. Somebody
basically needs to come in who's not, I hate saying this, not connected with comic books or doesn't have anything to gain either way. Let's put it that way. Come in and say, this is what we're going to do. You're going to cease this. You're going to do this. You don't like it? There's the door.
And Disney's making...
You can do what a lot of people have done is start your own little comic franchise you want, but this everybody can do everything, and we're going to rename this one because it's going to be this, because you assume people are going to assume this. No. That's it.
Disney stepping in and making Marvel kill off all the mutants, except for Wolverine or whatever, is sickening. Okay, and I was just made aware of the Tyrion mists that killing off the mutants in the comics. That whole situation was cured like decades ago by Quicksilver, where they would never kill mutants again. But some Marvel writer didn't look into that, and they just have a paradox on their hand now. So everybody's going to die except for the female Wolverine and like a handful because they're going to try to push the Inhumans, and nobody gives a shit about the Inhumans.
Yeah, big deal. I mean,
why nobody gives a shit about the Inhumans? Not because it's the Inhumans, because they're trying to replace the X-Men, and they're being force-fed to everybody, and people are like, no.
That's a handful of Inhumans I like. Lockjaw. I thought he was unique.
So I had my say. I'm these days of it'd be cool if Cyclops killed his mentor, sort of a father figure like Professor X, and then Red Skull eats his brain and becomes Onslaught. No, that's like if you would talk on the schoolyard. Would it be cool if this? But you don't actually do it, and they did it. And that it's just unrecognizable that Wolverine would be a headmaster in a Jean Grey school for gifted youngsters, and he's a teacher, and the Magneto character is Cyclops. And it makes absolutely no sense that would ever happen in a Marvel universe. So that's not my Marvel universe. It's the Prime Earth. It's not even 616 anymore. I don't know what the hell it is, and I can't adapt to it. I just can't. So
you know what it sounds like when you start doing stories like that? Like, some of these ideas would be great for, like, what ifs. Like, what if this happened? What if that happened? But when you start doing it in, like, your Prime or like one of your main universes where you're telling these stories, it would be like, for me, it would be like a story like, let's say, like, sometime during the Heisei Godzilla series, right? They did a story where, like, Godzilla sprouted wings and he started flying around and stuff. I'd be like, why is this in this series? Why is it in this universe? What does this have to do with it? Yeah, and then, if they made like a one-off movie like that, like, okay, yeah, that sounds kind of cool, but not, it's not something that happens. This is why there are stories that are canon, and there are stories that are not canon.
Mm-hmm.
Your canon stuff usually needs to make sense within the rules of the story you've made. Your non-canon stuff, you could go crazy and do whatever you want. Like Marvel Zombies. That obviously wouldn't work in the canon storyline, but that's a great, hey, what if this happens storyline? You know what I'm saying?
But Wolverine wouldn't be a Marvel zombie because his healing factor would prevent him.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
but you know what, though? In a non-canon story, you can bend the rules.
Right, I know.
You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect your main story. Again, I'm going to go back to Ben 10, right? There's an episode in the original series called Gwen 10, where his cousin gets the Omnitrix instead of him. And you know what they do at the beginning of that story? Hey, what if this happened? Okay, it doesn't affect anything in the main story, but it's a cool idea to think about what if this happened. You know what I'm saying? There's another episode where his identity is revealed to the world when he's 10, and it's like, hey, what if this happened? It's not in the main story, but it's cool to think about.
Right.
Now, all of this stuff seems to happen in canon, and then when somebody says, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't work, that person is labeled a hater, and people tell him, you've got to embrace the change, man, you're living in the past. And when they go, wait a minute, no, but it doesn't work because of this, they get labeled all these things, and it's like, I don't even want to be a part of this anymore because it's stupid now.
Right.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, did you like the live-action version of Ben 10 when it came out?
Yes, I saw both of them. Yeah.
I gotta say, like, I have goals, you know, like everybody does. I want to do books. I want to do this. I want to do that. Another goal of mine was to work for Marvel one day and write for, like, Spider-Man or something, you know, like, whatever. I gotta tell you, not just with Spider-Man, but, like, let's say if that came true and I worked for Marvel and I got to work not on Spider-Man but other books, I would fix everything. And I would just wipe this crap clean where I would make it make sense and I would explain everything away. And, you know, one of the biggest things and easiest things to do is the whole Mephisto thing. Because, technically, because of one person, the whole Marvel universe bubbled out into this whole new thing. So if you ever did away with that, you could fix everything, basically, in one shot. You know, it's sort of like the Donna Noble turn left.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was affected. Doctor Strange lost the Sorcerer Supreme title. Avengers that were dead were alive again. It was like a Flashpoint thing. So, you know, I would fix all of that. I wouldn't have, like, 10 Captain Americas and Hulks. I would have it that there was something, you know, just like that's it. Because it's not like you could go to the store and buy a Gamma. I mean, it's kind of, you know what I'm saying? And that's ridiculous. So the only Gamma people would be Abomination, you know, and the Hulk. And the Red Hulk maybe. But the thing is, though, I always felt, another pet peeve I had was with the Hulk, the villain base. Because I never felt that he had enough villains or good enough villains to be on his caliber. It was always a joke, just like the Superman philosophy where Superman could crush everybody. You know, unless it was Kryptonite, but he still could crush everybody. You got to have a situation where the superhero can be defeated. He can't be unlimited power. Just like if Godzilla Shin Gojira would destroy everybody. Yep. You know? So it's got to be believable. The thing with Peter Parker, as much as I like stuff with Dan Slott, like, there is no sense of loss. He is a billionaire. He could have any woman he wants. It kind of gets boring. And it kind of gets unrecognizable. He doesn't have to struggle. He doesn't have problems like that. He doesn't have to worry about dating this one or Mary Jane or whatever. It's just not... Yeah, you think people are going to evolve, but it's kind of not believable, certain things. You know, on that fast, too.
When Lois and Clark was on, I forget what season I thought of this idea, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting. They do like a sort of alternate universe type of setup.
Mm-hmm.
To where, yes, Superman died, but it was at the hands of Jimmy Olsen. And come to find out, Jimmy Olsen fires a whether he knew Clark was Superman or not. I kept leaving it up in the air, but nonetheless, got shot with a kryptonite bullet. But Jimmy was doing all this like, consoling Lois. But in the end, you find out that he was actually stalking Lois because she gave him a card, and it was just like one of these sweet, innocent little comments. But in his mind, he twisted it, and that was the whole point of the storyline, was that he twisted to where he thought she liked him more than she did, and
right. But they have this thing with Spider-Man where Doc Ock, when he was in his body, finished off Peter Parker's college education, and he got different degrees, right? Then he built the company as Doc Ock in Peter Parker's body. So the thing is that when Peter Parker became control of his own body, how is that with great power, great responsibility? How is that he knows that he doesn't really have the college education, that a villain did that, and this is the villain's company? Why would he think that's a responsible thing to do, to be like a cheat and say, well, it's mine now, I'm going to be a billionaire? Like, that's not what the character does.
No, it's not.
Peter Parker would be like, I can't be a part of this. I didn't do this. It wouldn't be right. He would do something, and he would do something to say that I didn't really get this college education, and he would get it himself. Not that he wouldn't like take, like another thing, he wouldn't take money to save somebody's life. He wouldn't like cheat J. Jonah Jameson with fake pictures like Eddie Brock would. So that's not Peter Parker that I know. And that's why while I like some things in Dan Slott's book, I'm like doing face palms because I'm like, he wouldn't do that. That's not responsible. It's like, he wouldn't do it. Like, it's like he's stealing. And Doc Ock should be like, son of a bitch, fucking took my copy and shit. I want that shit back. He'll be every right to become Doc Ock again and destroy everything because he shouldn't have it in the first place. So he cheated his way. He cheated. And that's not what you don't teach your kids to cheat off of somebody else's hard work.
Doc Ock manipulated him again in order to gain this, and then that way he could come in and go, this is actually my stuff. And he could do like a hostile takeover.
Honestly, my thing is, I don't even know why he's not he has to be in New York constantly.
Yeah.
He doesn't belong in Hong Kong, and he doesn't belong in San Francisco. It's ridiculous and impossible that a supervillain would take a flight to go fight him. That's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. And not that you would have to have new villains either, but bring him back to New York, take away his fortune. All right, he ain't poor anymore, but he has some money at least. But do something, because that's not believable.
Yeah, like I said, do the hostile takeover thing. Have Doc Ock come back, and go, Mr. Parker.
Doc Ock will be back in a week or so.
Yeah.
Or a couple weeks or months, whatever.
I've been traveling here and there, slowly gaining the stocks. And I come across this information to where you actually didn't have the rights to this company, and it's actually mine.
Well, they just brought him back, Doc Ock, in the comic currently, that he doesn't have a body, so he's in the big brain body, a robot, and he flipped out, but in the end, the Jackal's gonna make him a clone body, and he's gonna be back to full Doc Ock. But the thing is, though,
will he have
the thing is, though, Peter, he even said it, is like, I built this company, I created this company, and when he almost lost this company, I saved this company as this robot, whatever, right? He shouldn't have that. That's telling people it's okay to cheat people.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody, that comic book is a life lesson. Unfortunately, I know it's trying to say role models and stuff, but people look at it, it's okay. It's okay to cheat and steal. It's okay. No, it's not. The person has the most responsibility, the great power. Is cheating people? No, man. I know it looks cool on paper, but it's not cool. Peter Parker needs to be in New York. He needs to be a photographer. He needs to build up his own business, maybe, or whatever, and just live in New York. Mary Jane needs to be with him. It needs to be a big thing. You don't have to be. He has to be multi-women. That's not who he is. He's with Mary Jane, and that's it. And the marriage is restored, and I don't care. I mean, that's ridiculous. And if it's not restored, then at least keep it to one woman, or don't make all these women in his life, and so it's ridiculous. Black Cat maybe, or whatever. But all right, that's my long rant on comic books. I go off on tangents, and I do apologize. And please don't and bring the Fantastic Four back in the comic.
Yes.
That's really stupid. And the X-Men, Disney. First of all, I don't understand how Disney steps in and does what they want to do, but then when they really need to step in, they don't. Like, they tell Marvel to cancel the Fantastic Four and cancel X-Men, but then you allow stupid storylines to take place. That's just to me. It boggles the mind.
Yeah, bring back your founding family and the X-Men.
Yeah, thank you. And Captain America's not Hydra.
And bring back Captain America the way, and Thor the way they should be.
It should be that Mephisto is behind it all, and that would solve everything. And there you go. Mephisto has the time gem. That's why he's more powerful than before. And he's letting his friends like Red Skull and these people do these crazy things. And then he gets defeated, and everything gets restored back to normal.
They could do something. Here we go. They could do something where somebody is behind the scenes manipulating something.
Mephisto has to be. They have to do a big Mephisto storyline, and then wipe this new universe clean, back and call it 616 again.
Yeah,
and that's it. And this wasn't really an Marvel universe. This was just bullshit. That's based. I don't even care. That's fine. And don't have. Oh, this one's reality was destroyed, so he's living here. Miles Morales don't belong in this universe. Goodbye. Go back. Create his universe back to normal. Goodbye. Go back to your universe. The Cyclops and Jean Grey from the past, go back to your timeline. Your mind's wiped. That's it. The futuristic Captain America, go back to your timeline. The 3 Lokis from the past, present, and the future, all occupying the same space. Split them up, please. Or if they didn't do it already, do it now. I mean, it's just confusing as crazy stuff. One more thing I'm going to say. I heard something, we were joking about horror movies, and I'll relate to this because to time travel. How, like, that movie Paranormal Activity was like the first horror movie that had like time travel. Well, watch the next horror cast. That's all I'm going to say. Because that was broken already. I watched it today. All right, Blair Witch is a time travel movie. Unbelievable. Take care. Bye for now.